So hello, we're back again to look at another defect video. I've got the 3D model up on my other screen. Let's have a look at it. Today we're going to see how to deal with undercut and what really to worry about and not worry about during your exam, because it can be a little bit much and we need to cut away all of the nonsense, the stuff that really doesn't matter within acceptance criteria, and then accept or reject. So what we're going to do is if I share the screen here. So here we have our 3D model of our weld, and we can see our arc strike we looked at in our last video, but above it here we have our undercut, and we can see it moving along this top edge. It's in and out, it's a bit bitty, it's going to be fairly difficult to measure. I can come along, have we got any more? Here we've got some grinding of the toe. You can see just the way it's shaped. Coming around, if I zoom out a bit, if we've got any more really major stuff, doesn't really look like it. I can come on, maybe some on the bottom edge here. Yeah, there's a bit along the bottom edge. We'll leave that one for the minute. So yeah, so we've got a bit anyway, but here is probably our best for our undercut in this area here. So now we know we have undercut. That's our first cross. Question one in our practical exam is going to say, what defects do you have? You're going to be able to put a mark into I have undercut. The next question is, do you accept and reject it based on your two acceptance criteria? Okay. So now, if I bring up the acceptance criteria on our other side here, our acceptance criteria says that undercut is a groove melted into the parent material at the toes of the weld metal, a root or adjacent weld metal. So it's normally into the base material. Right? If it's not in the base material, you haven't filled up the groove, say, then it's not undercut. We're going to look at that later. If you've got a multi-pass weld, and you've got a split cap, so two welds to make up the entire cap, then you could have undercut into the other body of the weld, but they're all going to look roughly the same. Right? So our next one here is, are we going to accept and reject it to group A, which is normally question 2. There's no sharp indications, smooth blend is required, the length of the undercut shall not exceed 5 millimeters, continuous or intermittent, accumulative totals shall not exceed 5 millimeters. Maximum depth is 1 millimeter from the weld face, and the root undercut is not permitted. So if this was on the root side, yeah, just reject it. It doesn't matter how long it is or how deep it is, it's just a reject. For our cap defects here though, what we need to look at is a couple of things, or you could look at a couple of things. The one that really matters though is this first one, no sharp indications. As we can see from our model, this area here definitely looks sharp. And one of the best ways to understand it is if you get your sample and put your nail in it. Let's see if I can hear this. So I'm putting my nail into the defect and just pulling it off. And if we can hear it, if we click our nail against it, then it's going to be a sharp indication. So no matter how long it is, no matter how deep it is, we reject. Right? I would say that most of the time you're going to find sharp undercut. And if you do that, it's just a reject. Move on. Who cares how long it is? The new exam does not ask you to report Therefore, it doesn't matter. If it's a sharp indication, we reject.